Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. So, I'm wearing that shirt again. And that's the shirt with all the rips, all the tears. Oh my god. I've seen these comments on this shirt, man. You guys are like, Kripp, change your shirt. Listen, I'll buy you a new shirt. Just wear something else. Throw it in the garbage, man. This shirt sucks, man. Like, look at this shit. Who in their right mind would wear a shirt like this, you know? This guy. Alright, now, why would I do that? Well, it's a really comfortable shirt, and, I have a bunch of shirts, but I only have, like, maybe a select 10 or so that are really, really comfy and shit, and obviously you guys can tell because, if you watched a lot of videos, you've probably, played the matching game and seen some matching shirts. But that's okay. It comes down to, I don't really feel the need to throw anything out unless it's really unusable. And this qualifies, although the rips and the lining is all gone. Like, look at this shit. Holy cow, it's done, you know. But it's wearable. I mean, it's good enough for the Kripp. And yeah, there's no point to waste. No point for me to throw this in the garbage, buy a new shirt, and then when that one gets one little rip, throw that one away, buy a new one. I don't see the need for that. I think it's better to cherish what you have. No need to spend more than you need to. It's good enough, man. But where did I get this shirt? I think my dad gave me this shirt like maybe a decade back or something like that, and I wore it enough to where it has like some rips, and they want to throw it out, but I don't really care. It's good enough. But I think it happened a little over a year ago, where I had a really tough couple of days, and this shirt is the one that I wore through those days, and it really reminds me of tenacity, the Kripp tenacity, and yeah, I think I'll just hold on it forever, just as a memory thing, I guess, and what I'm talking about is this one little event that happened. I think it was on my 24th birthday. So this is what went down. So it was a really tough couple of days. Just so you know, this isn't a happy story, but it's a very amusing one. I've told the story to my guildies when it happened, and some of them had a hard time believing it, but it happened a while ago, so I might have to take a second to get all the details right. So basically, I had a trip planned to go to Romania for the summer, maybe, I think it was like 3 weeks, something like that, maybe 4 weeks. And we planned this, some time in advance. And the night before the trip, the plane was set to take off, I believe, around 7 p.m. And the night before the trip, I went to sleep at like 3 a.m. in, not quite true no-life fashion, but, pretty good no-life standard, going to sleep at 3 a.m. And, I remember waking up in the night. I had to, like, go to the bathroom, but I felt like this pain on my lower right side, and it was just weird. And I just, like, got on and off, and it was, like, maybe 6 a.m., and the pain on my right side was really intense. Really intense. And I didn't know what it was, so I didn't end up really sleeping that night very much, maybe half an hour here and there. And yeah, we go to the hospital, which is actually right across the street. And they asked me to like pee in a little cup, and it was really hard for me to do. They gave me I think it was a CAT scan, and they checked out to see what's going on, and they said after sitting in the hospital for like 3 or 4 hours, and they hooked me up with like morphine or some shit so I could calm down a little bit, the pain would go away. And yeah, they said that it looked like I just passed a kidney stone, and I felt like shit, man. But I was so tired. It was the thing where I didn't really sleep a whole night, and they had to hook me up on morphine. Apparently, morphine kind of gets you down a little bit. I mean, I don't know this stuff. I'm a clean kind of guy, but apparently that's what it does. Makes your ass sleepy. But you know, I didn't. They told me try not to go to sleep just in case you have another issue. At least while I was at the hospital, and you know, okay, whatever. I stayed a little bit more. Got home, finished preparing all the stuff for the trip. Decided sleeping might be a bad idea because I'm only gonna get like an hour or two, and just forget it. Let's just get all the preparation work out of the way, make sure I don't miss anything for my trip to Romania, and yeah, why not? So I go over to the airport, and yeah, I'm just sitting over there chilling out. I think I had a hamburger at the time. You know, I was not a vegan a year ago. It's almost been a year, but not quite. So I had the hamburgers, and yeah, it didn't feel so well after the hamburger either. But didn't really matter. Went on the plane, and I had a stop in London. I think it's called Heathrow Airport, something like that. And the stop time in London was 10 hours. Okay, but we didn't quite get to London yet. So while I'm on the plane, you know, it just takes off and whatnot. I get those seats that are in the fire exit line, because there's a little bit more room. You know, there's like first class, and then there's like this wall, the curtain wall, and then there's like the first row of seats, and there's like a little bit of extra space. So those are the seats that I got, but I didn't have like the you know, the best seat placement, because they actually changed my seat. I reserved the seat online, which was like on the right side of the fire exit, which is like, there's only like 3 seats there, and it was the aisle seat, so you can have a little bit extra room. And I reserved that one, but no, there was a problem with the seating arrangements, where I got moved into the center column of that seat. So I didn't really care that much. I'm like, whatever, man. So I move in the center, and yeah, I'm just chilling out. There's like no one on either side actually, at least when the plane's taken off. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I had some pills that I was taking for some other issue, and those caused like sleepiness. Those are like sleeping pills. So I popped like 2 of those, and you know, I'm like, you know, it's been a long while since I had gone to sleep. You know, I was probably at that point awake for about 30 hours. Maybe a little bit more, and you know, I popped those suckers, and maybe a couple minutes, maybe 20 minutes after I do that, I haven't fallen asleep yet. This pretty large individual, you know, I have nothing against people who are overweight and whatnot, but when you're sitting beside me on your plane, I am not so fond of the large individuals. Especially because the fact that is pretty much like having this giant sweaty pillow right beside me in the fucking airplane. So this chick decides to take a seat right beside me because it was open, and yeah, someone else ended up taking the other seat, so I couldn't move over, and yeah, I couldn't sleep because of that. It was just kind of gross. You know, whatever. So we get to the London airport, like Heathrow, whatever, and I'm not feeling so good. After I ate that burger, I'm feeling some crazy indigestion, and you know, I look at the airport. There's like nothing to do. It was like early in the morning that day, so like everything was like either, you know, all the restaurants were serving just breakfast shit, and I was pretty hungry at this point, or some other garbage. And the airport is pretty big, and you know, I had to stay there 10 hours. I had to stay awake for 10 hours, because think about it, I was out for like over 30 plus hours at this point. I was on morphine, I was in like that intense like kidney stone passing action, and I took the sleeping pills, and I'm 30 hours without sleep, and I have to stay awake for 10 hours, because if I fall asleep, I'm not going to sleep for like 7 hours and wake up. I'm going to be passed the fuck out, you know. It's not going to be a small thing. So I had to stay awake for 10 hours. So what did I do? Well, I started just taking tours around the airport, seeing what's going on. But because I ate the burger, because of the airplane food, maybe because of being on an airplane, because of the stress and whatnot, I don't know what caused it. But I was going to the bathroom for about 15 minutes every hour on the hour. So that was cool and all, because you know, the bathrooms in Heathrow Airport was actually pretty well sanitized, pretty clean. You know, nothing to worry about there. And that killed about a quarter of my time. Now, the other thing I was trying to do is, you see, I had my old laptop with me, and I had Diablo 2 on it and a little bit of music, and the battery time for that laptop was about 3 to 4 hours. So, yeah, I found a good seat after a run around the airport for like an hour and a half. I found a pretty nice seat, playing some Diablo 2s. That's right, Diablo 2. No internet connection required. What a fucking surprise. You know, that's some new technology. Anyway, so I'm doing that, and yeah, I go out of battery after like 4 hours, and I'm trying to find a place where I can charge my laptop because, you know, I just killed like 3 or 4 hours pretty well. I was really struggling to stay awake, but I mean, I was managing. You know, I'm a champ. I just pulled through. It was really hard. It was truly very difficult. But you know, I was like halfway there, and yeah, still trucking on. But at this point, I was pretty hungry, and I only had like 10 British pounds on me, so I couldn't buy very much. There was this one place called like the Real Food Store or something like that, and that stuff looked pretty good. So every like hour, I'd buy like a small orange juice, just like to keep me awake just a little bit, just so I'd have something to do. Just drink it real slow, you know, kind of savor it, and yeah, because I mean, I went around the airport a second, a third, a fourth time trying to find places to like have an outlet. And the only place that had an outlet was this like really expensive cafe, and you had to like buy stuff to get a seat. And then you could like plug your computer in there, you know, get some charge time. So I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to convert any of my USD into British pounds just to pay some overpriced bullshit restaurant to, you know, charge my laptop in there. So obviously, I didn't do that. So I just kept running around the airport. There was like a Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. I looked at the menu. It was pretty good. You had like an omelet for like 15 British pounds or some shit. I'm like, LOL, that shit better be the best shit ever. But anyway, I was kind of tempted, but then I passed on the Gordon Ramsays. What I ended up doing is there was there was like this bad soccer movie playing on like the TVs, and I was doing that. I was just watching the bad soccer movie. It's kind of on loop, so I watched that shit like 3 times over before I wanted to kill myself. And man, by the end I was really struggling, but I pushed through. Man. I made it through 10 hours of absolutely nothing. After like not sleeping for 30 hours, the morphine, the sleeping pills, holy shit. I get on the plane, flight number 2, you know, London to Romania, to Bucharest. And this is not a very big plane. This plane, it was like a small aircraft, and it had 3 seats on either side, and then the aisle in the middle. It wasn't like a 3 row of seat kind of plane. It was the 2 row seat kind of plane, and I think the first class was just like a very small curtain. None of that like serious first class curtain. It was just a little bit. So it was a little bit of a small plane. And, you know, I didn't really care. Everyone was talking Romanian and shit. I'm like, hey, how's it going with the guy beside me? Just trying to chill out. And right as the plane took off, maybe 20 minutes maybe 20 minutes afterwards, because it was only like a 3 to 4 hour flight, something like that, if I remember correctly. And they serve food. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm actually really hungry because I've been eating fucking orange juice for the last like 12 hours. And I take a look at this shit. It's like cold chicken or something. It's gross, absolutely terrifying, you know. And they give you this little bread, but the bread had like water droplets inside. So I'm trying to figure out why the bread has water droplets inside the package. So I like open it up and look at the bread. It's all mushy and shit, but it's like hard at the same time. So I try to break the bread open, and when I do that, it's like snap. And inside the bread was like a block of ice. And trust me, the rest of the food was up to that standard. Okay? So I didn't eat a thing. I just like sent that shit back. I'm not gonna poison myself. It doesn't matter how fucking hungry I am. But keep in mind, man, this is a plane full of Romanians, you know? If, you know, everyone loves free shit, especially like, you know, food. But when it comes to Romanians, oh my god. You know, they're like massive exploiters on the free shit. And when it came to terrible, inedible airplane food, the Romanians, man, they ate that shit up no problem. Like, I couldn't see anyone who didn't finish everything they were served. And yeah. Luckily, I wasn't sitting at the back of the plane where the washroom was. But as the little lady with the little cart picking up the trays after everyone got done eating, after she took all that shit, like there was a line from the bathrooms in the back all the way to the front of the airplane. And man, after like 20 minutes, the line wasn't done, and there was like some serious smell in that aircraft. And you can pretty much use your imagination as to what was going on. But I mean, you know, I couldn't sleep with all this crap going on. It smelled like a fucking stable in there, man. It was ridiculous. So that's all right, you know. Some people gotta go. I get it. Some of the food was inedible. I get it. But I'm still feeling the mad indigestion. I'm still feeling the insane, you know. I'm feeling so tired. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I arrive in Bucharest, and my grandparents are there to pick me up. And it was pretty late at night. I don't remember exactly what the time was, but I think it was roughly 10 or 11 p.m. And we were staying at a hotel because, see, we don't live in Bucharest in Romania. We live in like a small town, and it's like maybe a 7-hour drive to where we live. So we were planning on taking the drive in the morning, which is fine, which is adequate. And we were staying at a 3-star hotel in Bucharest. Now, I don't want to speak for most hotels in Bucharest, but let me tell you what went down. So I get there that night. I'm unbelievably tired. I fire up my laptop, tell my guildies on World of Warcraft what was going on, because, you know, I'm a massive fucking nerd. And they couldn't really believe me, but that was all right. Anyway, so after all this shit, I was feeling so dirty because, you know, this shirt, I was wearing it the whole time, man. This is the shirt. This is the tenacious armor right here, man. This is like, you know, godly plate of the whale right here. Pull me through. That's the short story. But it doesn't end there. You think it ends there? You think that's a story? No. We're not done yet. So I'm in this hotel, right? So I want to take a shower, and I go to the bathroom, and there's like these dinky fucking little towels, and there's no shampoo or anything. I didn't bring shampoo, man. I didn't even know we were staying at a hotel for the night. So the only thing in the bathroom is like this hand soap that's like stuck to the wall in front of the sink in the bathroom. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you take a shower in this hotel? So I go over there to the front desk, and I ask some, it was like some young chick, and I ask her, and it's like, so where do you guys have the shampoo? And she answers me like, she's like giggling at me, right? She's like, just use the hand soap. And I'm like, all right then. I had to remind myself, it's the Romania, man. It's all just a little bit ghetto, you know, maybe more than just a little bit. So I go back, I take a shower with the hand soap, and I go to sleep. Something like 5 hours later, I get woken up that we have to leave, we have to start driving home. So I just slept for 5 hours after being out and all that other shit for like 48. And why did we have to leave right in the morning? Because of floods, dude. Floods. Are you fucking kidding me? There were like floods going on in Romania at the time, and we were concerned that these floods would kind of cut off where we would have to pass through to get to where we lived. Okay, excellent. So another thing is, keep in mind, I just passed a kidney stone at the time, so I had to be drinking a fair amount of water, and I was really fucking tired. I was just like out of it in the car, man. I was just staring at the top of the fucking car for like hours and hours. And one thing I really wanted to do, at least in a civilized fashion, because, you know, something you got to do is go to the bathroom. Like, I drank a lot of water. I had to go to the bathroom a fair amount, but I couldn't. You know why I couldn't? Because that day, that exact day, was the day that the taxes in Romania got bumped up. They got changed from, if I remember correctly, from 18 sales tax, they call it VAT, value added tax. They got changed from 18, I believe it's something like 24. I think that's what it was. And because of this, every single store, every single restaurant had closed down to adjust their prices. There was not a single place open from Bucharest to our 7-hour destination where we ended up going. Not a single place was open. It was ridiculous. I was like peeing on corn and shit. It sucked, man. That's the story, guys. Pretty unbelievable series of events. I was thinking about it. This is like the worst sequence of days in my life, man. I can't believe all this random bullshit happened at the same time. But in the end, it's the journey that you take as a person, and I felt like I championed it with all the shit that happened in those series of days, and I felt really good about it in hindsight, and it was a pretty amusing story. I felt it was a pretty hilarious one from from an outside perspective, obviously, but even to me, man, when this shit gets ridiculously unfortunate, even to me, sometimes it gets pretty hilarious. So I took it like a champ as well. But yeah, that's the shirt, guys. The shirt pulled it through all that other garbage that happened, and every time I wear this shirt, it reminds me of those series of days and how I got through it. So I know I've been talking for a while, but I feel it's important to share these experiences. I've told the story maybe 2 or 3 times to other people, and they've found it very amusing at the same. So hopefully you guys take something out of it. Maybe get some amusement out of it, and maybe learn a few things. You guys are capable of doing much more than you think. Capable of staying awake much longer than you think, getting through anything if the time requires it. And I've been putting that effort into a lot of other things since that time. Pretty good lesson for us all, maybe. See you guys tomorrow.